Hello everyone, welcome to this video where I'm going to be doing a point of view review of the BMW 6 Series. Now this is a 650i, which is actually gas converted. It's a 4.8 litre V8 running about 368 brake horsepower at the factory if I remember correctly, but it's probably a little bit less now, and being gas converted, when it's on gas, it's probably a little bit less than that too. So a couple of quick little things I want to discuss. It's had a Maxton front splitter put on, the twin slits front grille, along with that blue angel eyes fitted on, 20-inch AC Snitchner wheels, with the only other thing that I've really changed here is the red caliper paint. It's got eye-back lowering springs on Bilstein shocks, and it's running Michelin Pilot Sport 4S on the front and Pirelli P0s at the rear. It's had an exhaust bypass fitted on, but that's about it really. It's got the panoramic roof, which is really nice, makes the cabin feel really airy, but at the same time it adds a lot of weight to the top of the car, and when it is open it does bring in a lot of wind noise. Other than that though, the car, I think it's one of the best value for money cars that anyone can get. It's got full parking sensors all around, it's got all the usual bits and pieces, running a private number plate named after my dad, named Sultan, so you kind of see where it's resembling there. But I absolutely love this car. In fact, from certain point of views, it's one of the nicest designs that I think you can get for the money. You can pick one of these up for about £6,000 thereabouts for a decentish one. And a little bit more than that, you can get a really nice low mileage condition. But I think Chris Bangle should actually get a lot more credit for what he actually designed, because if you look at this and compare to what modern cars look like nowadays, especially with the interior, he's the first person to really start off this trend of modern interiors. If you look at every car from before this era, this is nothing like this, you know, even compared to the E46, etc. Nothing like this at all. Quickly, I'll open the bonnet. You can see 4.8 litre V8 as mentioned earlier, running on gas, so it's really clean install, just going across. You got 4 on each side. Other than that, the engine bay is pretty much standard, nothing else has really been touched. It is going to be going through a full engine refresh, so all the gaskets and those kind of bits and pieces will be changed. Bits and pieces that I've had to do, wow, I've done an engine oil service, as you can tell. That's pretty, you know, anyone and everyone should do that. But I had to have the alternator reconditioned. Brand new one would have cost about £1,000, but I was able to get my one reconditioned for just over £150. This engine sounds amazing, and when it's on gas, only when you open the bonnet you can hear a little tick tick tick, but otherwise you won't hear a thing. It sounds exactly how it should as a petrol car. Then I'll show you all round to the boot. Now some of you might have already seen a lot about this previously. I love that actually. I love that little feature where you pop that open and that's how to unlock it. Now I do have some engine oil in here. That was from when I went to Wales. Well, this car went to Wales and we just needed to top up, well, just in case we needed to top up any engine oil, that was better value for money. So the LPG tank is just in the back behind there. And that's basically how much space it takes up in the boot. There's plenty of space for your normal luggage. Yes, it does eat up half the boot space, but you get a range of around 400 miles for one full tank of LPG, which I think is great. It's worth the sacrifice, especially considering a full tank is about, at the moment, about £38. So it makes it as cheap to run as a 320D. Overall, the car is still in really good condition, and I just love looking at it from this point of view. Yes, I think the boot could have been designed better, especially if we had this light just kind of going in to the rear boot, just adding a little bit more color to the boot, because I just feel like that's what makes the boot on this look a little bit dull and just really big and clunky. That's the only thing that I would have really changed. Like even if they had those lights fitted on the rear boot, would have made it look so much nicer. Just genuinely such a good looking car. I think it's just aged so well, and being silver with the big 20-inch silver wheels, it just works. But let's go for a quick little drive. So let's jump in and just actually discuss a little bit more about the car. So it is, I'll just connect my phone charger up real quick. So being a car from 2006, the gearbox is probably the worst point. Along with that is the entertainment system. The gearbox, it's perfectly fine for a lazy little drive. Let me open the roof real quick, get some more light coming through here. But yeah, the gearbox is perfectly fine for just daily cruising about, but if this had like a modern day 8-speed gearbox, oh, that would have been game changer. ZF gearbox in this car would have been perfect. The head unit, well, it's actually really easy to change that and get an Android head unit, so that's something that I'm going to be looking at doing in the near future as well. I've had an M6 center console piece fitted here. It's because I had the LPG button and I just didn't like the way it looked in the old one. I prefer how it looks here, so that's the sport button now. This is nothing. Then you got the LPG system. This is for the exhaust bypass to make it quieter and louder, but like I said, because of the way the welding work was done, some of the wiring just had a little bit of issues, so it's not connected at the moment. But that's basically what I've done. It's got heated seats. You can get this with cooled seats and stuff like that as well, but my car didn't have that option. And you can also get ones with the heads-up display, but mine doesn't have that either. What I looked for was more getting a car that has good service history. I'll close the door actually. What I looked for was a car that had good service history instead of just pure having all the features. Another thing that I've done is change the steering wheel on this. Well, when I say change, I've wrapped the steering wheel, and I just feel like this whole texture, the grip, the stitching going across, it just feels really nice. It's perfect to hold. I think the thickness of the steering wheel on these cars is literally bang on, just right for a cruiser. It's not too thin where you literally feel like you're holding something flimsy, but it's not overly thick where it's annoying to hold for a long period of time. But that's basically what we're looking at with regards to the car. It's honestly, it's one of the most complete cars that you can get for the price range. And if you spend about £1,000 to get the gas conversion done, this is a Prinz system, but BRC, there's other systems like that you can get done, that are really good condition ones that will be good to the engine. About £1,500, you'll make this car cheap to run as a 320D. So factor in getting one for about £6,000, spending £1,500 on it, and then maybe just doing a little bit of engine maintenance while you're there. For about £8,000, you can get a Grand Touring Coupe that's cheaper to run than a 320D. When you hear this car in a second, you'll understand why that becomes really seriously a good value proposition. The trim, I think this works really nicely on this car because it's a Grand Tourer. Yes, you could probably get this done in carbon fiber, especially if you got an M6, might look really good in carbon fiber, but I think on this car it suits it really nicely. Let's go on with actually driving the car. I can go into more detail about the car in terms of what it's been like to own, any issues, or anything that I would recommend to look at, or even just the general usability of it. I can always discuss that in a future video if you leave a comment down below. But let's get on with the driving. Let's just keep the car a little bit cool. As you can see, I've got the ambient lighting set up on the car as well, so I can change the color as I'd like. Should go for this color. I think it'll be silly if I don't open the window while inside here. These bumps are really annoying, being that there's so many of them. It doesn't help. M235i, interesting. Seats off, getting a bit toasty in here. Just readjusted the camera a little bit, and I'm just going to change the color as well. So let's drive off. Yeah, I noticed that you could see a little bit of the holder for the GoPro, so I wanted to get rid of that. Traction control. The car definitely picks up, and that wasn't even full throttle. while it's quiet, I thought I would just ask if you've all enjoyed this video. Please give it a thumbs up and leave a comment for me down below if you want to see anything in particular, if it's to do with the car or if it's to do with just me driving around and just actually talking a bit more about what the car is like to drive. And yeah, there's more videos to come out like this where I'm going to be driving around. I'll probably do a review with the S2000 next. Yeah, I hope you all enjoyed the video, and I'll see you all in the next one. Peace out.